I almost got shot in West Oakland. Moving around a lot as a child had caused many problems to surface throughout my life. I I'm here to talk about why I had to move around a lot so much to begin with, how it affected me, and also my advice to parents or guardians thinking about moving their families. As a child, from as far as 5 years old as I could remember, I moved around a lot as far as Sacramento from where I was born um, to Antioch, Pittsburgh, um, Arizona, Connecticut, also been to Massachusetts and neighborhoods as Oakland, uh, specifically West Oakland. Um, Moving around a lot was because of my then mom's significant other, aka boyfriend, who was an army brat or aka involved with the military. At the time, he was only supposed to be her sugar daddy, but that turned into more, which leads him now to be my sibling's father in current day. Moving around so much had affected my social life greatly because I didn't know if we'd be moving again, when we'd be moving again, if it's even there's even a point in trying to keep contact with the people that I interact with. I didn't have a way to keep contact with them anyways, which led me to be frustrated and very quiet, away from the rest of the world. I didn't really bother interacting with others much, and I struggled greatly holding and maintaining friendships, which also led me to be very anxious and affected my self-esteem greatly as I started to just give up on things. It also affected my educational life, moving around to so many schools with their different teaching methods had scrambled my brain so greatly to where I kind of just plummeted. I couldn't bother really trying to look at the content that was being provided to me and learn it. I just kind of gave up, which also led to my mother and my now sibling's father, who, might I add, is not my biological father, and I do not classify him as my stepfather, to grow very tired of each other and soon get very physically violent, which led to domestic abuse or domestic violence. At first, it had started off subtly to where I was unaware of it because I was in school and I didn't know what was going on until one day my mom had came to pick me up from a middle school. I believe this was in West Oakland as well, and she was as white and pale as a paper, and her veins were very visible, and she was very teary eyed. Uh, Basically, being a sign that she was almost choked to death. Um, Also, while my sister at the time was inside of her belly. But do not worry because it has been worked on. It is no longer present, and to this day they are actually planning for divorce. Um, it's it also kind of in a way affected the way that I grew up and thought about things. as I would basically grow up to fend for myself and think on my own terms, even with the support that I had behind me and the people that I had around me, I kind of grew into survival mode, which also contributed into why I was so guard up around certain situations and certain people, since we had been to neighborhoods such as West Oakland, with me as a child running across the street to go into the car so we could get furniture for our new place then at that time, and almost unknowingly running into a drive-by shooting. So that is something that I don't really regret. However, it's something that shouldn't be experienced. I value my independence very much because of it. And I'm glad that it happened in a way because it shaped me into the person that I am at this very moment. However, it's nothing that is normal or should be normalized, honestly. So, my advice for families or anyone of that sort trying to start a family, please keep them in one place. And also try not to involve military within your family or anything of that sort. You can't only think about yourself in that situation, but if you have any children, you must think about them as well. You must think about them first, as they are your children. Please keep that in mind. And with that being said, thank you. But um, I had ended up back in San Francisco after I came back from Massachusetts with my mother and my siblings from a very scary situation of my siblings' father basically abducting them and taking them all the way out to Massachusetts from Sacramento. And that was for something completely irrelevant. But that's basically how I'm back here. Thank you for listening, and please keep my advice in mind, as it's not only you yourself that you may be jeopardizing, it's also your family. Okay, bye.